Oh, thank you.
Hey everyone! Before we get this episode started, also, I wanted to sound like a YouTuber, that's why I started off with, hey everyone, like, subscribe below. You know how YouTubers are. Okay, but before we get started, I want y'all to know we are going extra big with the All-Star season of Vulnerability Time podcast. So, guess what? We got video podcast. So, click in the episode description below if you wish to watch the video of the podcast as well. It'll be a YouTube link, so you can go ahead and get it going and get watching it. Make sure to follow, like, subscribe below. Such a YouTuber, right? Anyways, folks, enjoy the episode. Y'all, welcome to another episode of Vulnerability Time, the All-Star season. Okay, so we got an All-Star coming back. Y'all loved her. Sneha, hi.
Hi, how are you?
Oh my gosh. You know, possibly living with cancer. So we'll, get your face.
You so casually said that. Tell me more.
You know, the reason why I answered it like that, I guess we'll talk about that in the people is dying out of here topic discussion when we get to that. So folks, okay, before we get into anything, the topics for this episode, obviously y'all know it's conversational, so it can go from A to Z to the number 18. It's just whatever. You can be the right package at the wrong address. And also, people are dying out here. It's time to help them. And we're going to let the special guest, the All-Star, take us through that journey. But first, Sneha, you asked a question, and I was like, oh, totally ask that. Oh, hold on, let me get this thing off of here. Okay. 1 second. Okay, there we go. So you asked something, and I was like, totally save it for when we start the episode in the sake of vulnerability time. So go ahead and ask that. I got my awkward here.
I know you had recently posted about possibly having cancer, and I just wanted an update to see how you're doing overall. I don't know if you heard back from your doctor yet.
Oh, so I go, they do some more screening tests this Tuesday, which at the time of this recording, folks, it is Sunday, August 27th, 2023. So this Tuesday will be August 29th that, we'll know a little bit more.
Okay.
I will say this, I don't want to say which type of cancer, because I'm not like fully sure, but I feel like I have a good ballpark of what it is.
Okay.
But I'm not gonna say anything until I know for certain.
Right.
I don't want to just be saying, oh, it's this type of cancer, it's this type of cancer. I'm gonna answer that more when we talk about people are dying out of here, because it relates a lot to mental health. I don't know. I'm gonna talk about that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk about it more. I'm really glad that you asked that, honestly, because it's as much as I don't, shockingly, I don't want to be vulnerable about it, but I'm vulnerability equals victory, and I was I need to be in a realm of victory, and so and also I realize I struggle with selective vulnerability, because it's I can be super vulnerable about a topic such as physical abuse, but when it comes to something like this, I'm ooh.
Yeah.
So
it's relatively new, so honestly, it takes some time to build the courage to be vulnerable about something.
Yes.
So
stay hydrated, folks. Yes. Okay. So the last time we talked, you were talking about going into medical school, and tell the folks where you're at now.
So I just finished my first semester of med school. It is not for the weak. In case you decide you want to go into medicine, just know, like, you literally have to be a survivor. There's just mentally, physically, emotionally, you carry a lot of like guilt because you think, you're missing. You have to miss out on a lot of things to do well in medicine.
Gotta make that sacrifice for a bit.
Right. So it's a lot of sacrifice, a lot of study time. And it's a lot of like, it is literally, I didn't really believe anyone when they said like it's like drinking water out of a fire hose, but it is. Yeah, like you're constantly drowning and then the semester ends and you're like, oh hey, I didn't die, okay, cool.
Yeah, okay.
So yeah, that's how it goes.
Oh, we love that. Any more updates from then until now? Like, we were all rooting for you. We knew you were gonna get it, you were gonna survive med school, and you said your first semester, first year.
First semester.
Okay, gotcha. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So your next semester, or this coming semester, starts next month for you?
Yes, September 4th.
Okay.
And I was, just before I hopped on here, I was looking at all the stuff they uploaded on Canvas, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. I see why they do that, and honestly, obviously, it's obvious that they need to do that. But like, I get like the email notification when something's uploaded to Canvas. I'm just like, oh my gosh! Like, I just look at it and I'm just like, I'm in my summer mood. But when I see that email, I was like, oh my gosh, it's almost time.
Right. See, that's why I turned it off. Out of sight, out of mind. So like I don't have to see it. I don't have to think about it.
You're gonna have to teach me how to do that, because I don't know how to do that. They have it automatically set, like, oh, send me an email. And I'm just like, I didn't ask for that. It's just like, I know I have the discipline when school starts to check Canvas accordingly and to set my planner. But while I'm in the summer, and there's this one professor, and I had a crush on this professor, still do. He's always the first one. He uploads his material 2 weeks before class starts. And I was like, no, you're out of line for that.
2 weeks?
2 weeks. I was like, and I'm in my head like, husband, what we doing? Come.
Like y'all need to collectively put that man on vacation. Like, send him off. Enjoy. No cell service there.
Collectively put that man on vacation. Collectively, exactly.
Oh my goodness.
I'm so proud of you, and I genuinely mean that. Like, that's why I wanted to get on here and tell you that I'm proud of you. I wanted to wait until now to tell you that I'm proud of you. One, to tell you face to face, and two, to give you that honor to say it in front of everybody. I'm literally so proud of you, because I know med school is no joke. I know law school is no joke. Trust me, I go into law school in 3 years from now. So,
no joke. And good luck to you, because I have a few line sisters that are lawyers and have been to law school, and they're just like, not for the weak. Like, I believe you.
And the thing is, like, I graduate this semester with my grad degree, my master's, and then in January I start my PhD program. Once PhD is done with, I'm gonna go into law school right after. For me personally, like, of course there's that nervousness that comes with, just starting in an unfamiliar educational territory. You know what I mean? Though you have some like familiarity with it, but it's like you said, it's medical school. It's law school. You know what I mean? It's like you will be able to experience it once you're in it. Like, you can hear all about it and take classes to help you prepare for it, but it's like, it is also, gonna be a little different once you officially experience it. So.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, everyone's experience is a little different. Like, not everybody finds it super, super hard, and not everybody finds the same semester super, super hard, because everybody has their own strengths and weaknesses. So.
Yes. I heard and then we're going to move into the topics, I swear, folks. But I heard from, I heard that with medical school and law school, this is just what I heard, is that once you make it through the first year, you can do it all.
Yeah, like, and I think they say that not because it gets easier, but because you're getting used to it. Like,
Yeah.
you know sort of what to expect. You know how the exams are. You know how much studying you need to put in. You have sort of a routine. And you can say that about grad school or any like professional school, even undergrad, because in college, when you first go in, you're like, oh, whoa, like, no account. You're kind of scared. But then, like, once you get the hang of it, once you go one semester, you're good.
Right. Right. Yeah, just getting used to it. So folks, if you're about to start a semester, you know, give yourself time to get used to it. You're not gonna figure it out all in 1 week. You're not gonna figure it all out maybe in 1 month. Give yourself time to get used to it. It took me 6 weeks to fully get used to college life in general, because I'm that type of person where it's just like I gotta like have everything now, and it's just like that's not the reality. That's not even a healthy reality or mindset to have, though it's like inevitable sometimes, but it's like it doesn't serve you. It serves you best to be patient with yourself, be graceful as best you can, because it's not easy. And I'm like speaking to like the younger me and to anyone else who's like in the position of going into just anything new,
Right.
Yes. Okay. So you can be the right package at the wrong address. I know what that means to me, but I want to know what that means to you. What about that like topic that stood out to you?
I think and this isn't just relationship, like romantic relationship or friendships wise. This is literally, we deal with this every single day in different aspects. For example, like for me, applying to med school I could be the right package, but I was at the wrong doors. So some things aren't, meant for you because it is the wrong door, even though within yourself, like, you always have to remember, like, I'm the right package. I'm the whole package. There's nothing wrong with being different. There's nothing wrong with having different characteristics, qualifications, whatever it may be. Now, when it comes to like relationships, it's even more important to understand that, because I think sometimes we tend to question ourselves when we don't see things going the way we want it to go, or we may have envisioned it to go. So when, I'm a second time applicant for med school, I didn't get in the first time. And it's not that my grades were bad or my standardized tests were bad or anything like that. It's just, I had to understand it's a competitive world. And until like God wants it to happen, it's not going to happen. I could have everything. I could have the MCAT, the GPA, the hours of shadowing, everything. But at the same time, like, was I really ready for med school? Now looking back and having gone through a whole semester, probably not. I think I would have burned out like going straight from undergrad.
Right.
So there's that aspect, and then there's the aspect of reflecting on my past relationships with people in general. You could be the most best friend in the whole world, have the best intentions, haven't done anything wrong by a person, and then let's say they do something wrong to you, or they don't understand you in a particular situation, or they're abusing your friendship, or they're abusing your relationship, or just your presence in their life. You could be the right package at the wrong door. Again. Now, is any of that your fault? No, not necessarily, because you did everything you're supposed to do as a friend. You were open to criticism, so if your friend didn't like something you did, you kept an open mind and you try to hear him or her out. But if they're still abusing your presence, then you're the right package at the wrong door and you need to go. Because you could be the right package at the right door and be appreciated.
Stop! You're just making me just. I'm living for this wisdom. Sorry, continue. I'm
Yes,
living for
yes. Like,
this.
you could be appreciated, you could be loved, you could be treated right the way you deserve. Like, and it's crazy because a lot of times we talk about this topic, people always want to talk about romantic relationships.
Mm-hmm.
And while it's true in romantic relationships, like some people just don't really see, like you could say, I have this to offer, I have that to offer. And sometimes people listen and they understand and they know and they purposely abuse you. Other times people just don't care enough to listen and know and understand, and then they abuse you. So it's like, and I've been someone who's done this before in the past, and I really have to sit back and evaluate. My sister's relationship and I hasn't always been like the best. You know, obviously we're siblings, we're sisters, so sometimes we'll argue and we'll fight. But one thing about me, I'm quick to anger, and when I'm quick to anger, I go from 0 to 100 really fast. So like, my anger, I always knew was never going to put me in a good place in life. Like, I was probably going to lose friends, I was probably going to lose family, and I knew I had to get it under control. But in my head, I always thought, like, I don't go out of my way to do anybody wrong. So it's like, when I get mad, I justify my anger because I'm like, okay, so you really pushed me there. Like, I'm not trying to be mad, but because of your actions, I'm mad. So it was easy for me to blame somebody else. But what I wasn't realizing was that the consequences of my anger was I spit fiery words. I'm making emotional decisions that I genuinely don't mean in the long run. And I'm expecting the people I hurt to just get over it because you're my family. You're my best friend. You know how I am 90% of the time. But the one time I'm angry, you know, yes, I went off on you. Yes, I hurt your feelings, but get over it. That's not healthy. That's not right. And that was me abusing the right package at the wrong door in a certain sense. And so I had to sit down, I had to understand my flaws, and I had to reevaluate. And now when I'm angry, like, anger is an emotion humans have, so that's not the problem.
Right.
What you do and how you channel that anger is the issue. So I started to practice the fact that, okay, when I'm angry, I need to stop for a second, like, be gentle, communicate that I'm really angry, and I need to move away and maybe take like 5 minutes and really think about what I'm saying and who I'm saying it to, and if I really want to burn this bridge. So, and it's really helped. It has helped my sisters and I's relationship to grow, and it's helped any like friendships I've had to grow as well. And I genuinely like the person I am today because my anger is not making me almost embarrass myself and by hurting the people that I actually love. And when I realized that even though like I love these people and they're in my life, just because I think they're never gonna leave me because she's my sister, they're my mom, that's my dad, doesn't mean that I should be surprised when they are like, okay, I'm fed up with your words, like, you genuinely don't care about me, I'm gone. I can't be mad. I can't be surprised because it was the consequences of my own actions.
Right.
It was here. So, right package at the wrong door. You know, you could only better yourself. You can don't ever go into any relationship thinking you're gonna heal someone else. That's not your journey. That's not your purpose. You're not God, and that's okay. God didn't put you on the planet to be anyone's punching bag, anyone's healer. That's God's job. So if they really want some healing, they need to go ahead and pray about it.
Right.
Go ahead and have God step in and do what it needs to do. They need to help themselves. They need to understand, identify their problem, figure out how to get help, go from there. Put those help into practice.
Right. Yeah, I used to be addicted to this was long ago before, I started like healing and even towards the beginning of my healing process, I used to be addicted to like romantically being the fixer upper.
So
You
like,
know? Right. And it's just like that's not healthy, because at the end of the day, people aren't, and I just say this just like in general, what I'm about this next statement, people aren't objects to fix. You know what I mean? We're so much more than just objects to fix, and then also, I also learned, don't fall in love with potential. Just like, they either are or they're not. Right.
no.
Right. Just like, ooh, nope. That potential does not mean that they're gonna, put in the necessary work to grow, to heal, to learn some things, to unlearn some things. And then also, it can kind of reflect on, or kind of deflect upon us of like what this person, that person's actions in the midst of me trying to just be patient with their potential, that could form some unhealthy learning patterns in my own self.
Yeah, because in every relationship, you give some, you take some, right? So they either can add or subtract, or add bad things and subtract good things. So it's like if you're in your healing era and you're like trying to learn about yourself and trying to build these good habits that aren't like, natural to you because of maybe how you grew up, surroundings you grew up in. And you're dealing with somebody that has these toxic ways, that isn't putting in the effort to heal themselves and, work it out with you, and all you see is potential. Well, sweetie, that's great. You see potential, but do they see the potential? Do they want it? Because you could see a lot of things and they don't have to see it. And to them, what they're doing is right. And they're just not in that era yet. They just don't have the,
Yes.
And that's beautiful. That's beautiful that you're seeing potential in other people. It's beautiful. But that's all you should do. See it and move on.
Right.
You will save yourself so much.
So much hurt.
If you just let that person take the path they decided to take and go.
This is why you're an all-star. This is why you're an all-star. No wonder like people love they just love what you gotta say. Like you just come through with the wisdom. And that's also the thing, like experience can teach us a lot.
Yep.
It really can. It can really teach us a lot. Like, because, I do know hurt in life, it's gonna happen. Just regardless. Right. It's gonna happen. It can be the best relationship, it can just be the best experience. That doesn't mean we're not immune that doesn't mean we're immune to hurt. The thing is, I had to tell myself and learn this for myself is, hurt is inevitable, but there are some type of hurts that you don't have to go through. Like you just don't have to. Like for example, seeing this potential in someone, and me putting this effort and energy because I see the potential. It's just like that's hurting me when I could have just saw the potential and left. I'm just like I didn't have to go through that necessarily.
Okay. But you live and you learn, because in the beginning it just looks, well, first you like what you like, and you live and you learn. And sometimes you like what you like, and in your head, this would be my delusional self speaking to me.
Yeah.
This is not a big problem. We got this. We can fix it. Yeah. If I'm here long enough for this person, they will understand that I am their ride or die. I am the person that, like things like silly little things like that. And that's your delusional self speaking. And sometimes she wins.
Right.
And that's okay. You just gotta not really ever do that again,
Right, yeah. Like you said, live and learn.
Live and
We
learn.
learn here. No shame in it. Just live it and learn. You know what I mean? How else to learn if we don't live?
Exactly.
You
And
know?
anyone that's judging you knows damn well you've done the same thing.
Right.
Like,
Right.
come on now. Let's all be honest here.
Right. Right. We gotta be. Yeah, exactly. I'm a fan of this. Okay. People are dying out here. It's time to help them. When I first wrote that down, I said it really dramatic in my head. Now I'm saying it really calm. But in the moment when I wrote that down, I was just on fire with passion. I'm like, people are dying out here. It's time to help them. Like, I was just on fire with passion. And that's the thing. Sometimes when it comes to that, just hearing that statement, my passion and patience don't mix that well. Even though I know, great that you have passion, that has to be met with patience, or else you get burnt out, or else that passion will cause so much unnecessary pain on you. And by you I mean me. I'm just speaking from my own experience. So it's really healthy for passion and patience to mix. And that's hard to do, but once it is done, it's so beneficial. you know. But like, I remember I had to take a step back, and just be like, I need patience in this area because my passion has been too much. So when I was writing that, I was on fire, and I'm glad I'm able to say, okay, I stepped back and allowed patience to come and tell myself, you know what, I don't have to fight every battle, and I don't have to fight every battle right then and there. Like, it's not just my battle to fight. Because when I wrote that, people are dying out here, it's time to help them, I was thinking in my head, suicide, or it can be, but people can also interpret that as, just certain aspects in life that are dying. It depends, like whoever, that statement in the topics list can be interpreted, and it's still valid regardless of the interpretation. So with that being said, Sneha, what was your interpretation of, if there's people dying out here, it's time to help them? What's about that stood out to you?
So I actually had two different types of interpretation. One was mental health related, and, suicide and down that path. And the second was, can you blame me? I'm in med school. So I was thinking like diseases, like told that people are really dying out here. People are not taking care of themselves. And, you're built in three different ways. You have a physical, emotional, mental, and you have a spiritual. So if you have any of those components are out of whack, it affects the other components. In a way, I want to talk about it to where I can kind of mix the physical and mental together and kind of interpret that. First, you can fix what you can see, right? So physically can sit, because not a lot of people understand depression, anxiety, and other mental illnesses. Not a lot of people can just identify it. It's not like, oh, I have a cold, I know I'm physically sick. Like, right. I can tell.
Right, because mental is more like, I don't want to say hidden, but it's not as visual.
Yes, it's not as visual. And a lot of times in a lot of communities, it's also swept under the rug. So it's like not really discussed. Children don't grow up learning like, oh, it's not like this is what depression feels like, but this is what you should do. Like, these are good coping mechanisms. So when things start out, it's like, oh, if I have good coping mechanisms, I can get through it. So anyways, physical health. Look at the world around us. we went from global warming to global boiling.
Say that
We,
again.
we went from global warming to global boiling.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah.
and people are dying left and right. We recently had COVID, and I'm seeing back in the news that it's back on the rise again. But more importantly, you have so many things that can affect your health so many different ways. And people are dying. We have war going on. People are dying there. And it's like, sure, there's not like one solution to all these problems, but I feel like every day you can make a better choice, which can give you better health and prevent people from dying. And that goes from taking care of our planet to taking care of our bodies to taking care of our mental health, because we need all these things. We need our planet. We live here. We need to protect it. We need our bodies because this is what takes us through our entire life. But when you're constantly eating out, you're not eating like healthy, you're not getting the nutrients you need, and then you wonder why your body isn't performing as well. Well, it's like a machine. Like, you wouldn't put sand in your car gas tank, would you?
Ooh,
And expect it to run right. You will put in the right gas that it needs
yeah.
so that it runs smoothly.
Right.
So, same way, you need to take care of your physical self. Like, yes, that again, I talked about this in our last meeting of hustle culture. You guys are so worried about hustling, you're not taking care of the present being. Like, you're not taking care of the mental health. You're not taking care of the current body that you have or the current world you live in. And then you wonder why, like, you have these mental health issues. Your body's not feeling well. You're feeling down because you're not giving it the energy it needs, the nutrients it needs, the attention it needs. So, like, with suicide rates that are so high, like, why? You need to think about why. Why is this? What is going on? Is mental health still not being openly discussed in certain communities? Because I know I can tell you of communities that it's not being discussed in.
Right.
And it is definitely affecting those people, because suicide isn't just happening in the certain communities that it is being discussed in. It's happening all over.
All over. It doesn't discriminate.
It doesn't discriminate.
Right. Rich,
So,
poor, doesn't matter.
doesn't matter. So the whole idea of money buys happiness, and the idea of once I get rich, I can just be peaceful, and the idea of, oh, I need to follow the Zen lifestyle. Okay, follow the Zen lifestyle, but do it for you. Don't do it because outside looking in, it looks great. Outside looking in, it's a trend. No, that's not why you do it. You do it because you genuinely look to find peace, look to take care of yourself, your body, your mind, your soul, and then you give off the Zen aura.
Yes. You know, like you said, suicide it's happening regardless. See, suicide is the second leading cause of death in children. Second leading cause. The first leading cause are mishaps. Now, in the UK, 72% of suicides in the UK are men. In America, it has gone up. 72% in 72% to 78%. So on average, that's 75% in America. 75% of suicides in America are, males. And the number is estimated to keep growing. And obviously there are multiple realities as to why that is so high. But there is a reality that you touched on, that whole community aspect. It's not talked about in certain communities, you know what I mean? And for example, in regards to this statistic that I just made, I bet you that, a reality to why that number is so high is because, it's been taught for a lot of men, especially last generation, last century, men aren't supposed to feel this. Men are supposed to be afraid of every emotion except anger. Things like that. And we're seeing there's such a spike after 50 in males. You know what I mean? A lot of that is, me being a social science, major student. So I just want people to know I have my credentials and my research. So I'm not just like pulling this out of my ass, like I'm not just what I am saying, I don't know it all. But the stuff that I do know, I have my credentials, the research. It's not just coming out of my own philosophy, so I just want to give people that comfort, that this is actually a reality. You know what I mean?
Right.
Right. This is actually a reality that we don't hear about. And so, so going back to that, I feel like it's not a feel, it's a no, that a lot of that is from, not all of it, but a lot of it is from unconfronted traumas and mental health issues. Now, we know, when something is not confronted, that doesn't mean it's going to get any better.
Right.
that doesn't mean it's going to go away. It's still there, and it's going to, and we see with a lot of men, we see a lot of unconfronted traumas and mental illness. We see it grow and come back with an impact
right.
after the age of 50.
Right.
Yeah. So, and I'm sure I'm not saying that doesn't happen to women. I'm just saying, for this context, for those listening, this context. So that's the thing. Like one of my really good friends that I consider family, he's Latino, and he was telling me how, in his culture, he was taught the machismo, and so it's so hard for him to do away with his emotions and his traumas, you know what I mean? And so what we see with traumas, folks, is that the body is going to purge it out regardless. Whether it manifests with drinking, addictions, codependency, all sorts of things can manifest with perfectionism. The body's going to purge it out. However, the body doesn't always know how to do that in the most healthiest ways. Our body, in the midst of our body trying to protect us or trying to serve us, it can actually cause us to suffer long term. And so, like addiction, a lot of times addiction is not about addiction, it is about a form of sanity. And we're seeing our body it's on fire, and our body wants us to do anything to put it out. Though our body is killing us, but it's trying to survive in that moment. And that survival, for example, like people use in order to live.
Right.
People use a certain substance in order to live, and I'm not saying this is everyone, but it is a reality. People who use a certain stuff, for example, fentanyl, it gives people this type of feeling of just amazement. Oh, I feel so good, but guess what? It takes this much amount of fentanyl to kill someone, literally.
Yeah.
Literally, it literally does. That's why it's such an epidemic. So that's what I wanted to share with the world on that. It's just folks, I'm not a therapist, and I don't want to be that person to say, go to therapy. Because what if therapy doesn't work for everyone? I don't know. I just can say for me and from what I've seen in others, having to confront those traumas in a healthy way, or with a professional, or with journaling, whatever, having to confront those, it is best to do it. Don't wait until you're 60 or 50, folks, because it's not worth chancing chancing the, I don't know, I don't think the risk reward ratio in a sense is worth finding out. It's, I don't effort out and find out. I just don't want folks to have to find out when it's, I don't want to say too late, but when it's harder than as compared to now.
Right.
Yes. Does that all make sense?
Yes,
Oh,
it
I feel
does.
so proud of myself. I feel like I articulated that very well. I'm proud of
Yeah.
myself. Yeah, any thoughts on that, Sneha?
I definitely agree. I just think like, and again, this is why like you have to be an advocate, you have to share your knowledge. You know about mental health, you know how important it is. And so sharing your knowledge on it is really, really good because it makes it feel like it's a normal topic to people that are new to it.
Yeah.
And so it'll encourage them to get help faster if they need the help. Versus like if no one's talking about it in around a person and their community, then to them it's still gonna be like, oh,
Right.
okay, it's still weird. Okay,
Yeah.
not good. It's still weird to have mental health issues. Okay, I'm not. People are gonna judge me still. Okay, I'm not gonna go. But
And
it's like,
how we like to go, how, like we talked about, I'm sorry. Oh, I think you were talking. I'm so sorry.
no, go ahead, go ahead. I was, yeah.
How, like we mentioned earlier, how, it's easy to recognize something physical and have, less stigma or sympathy on that. And then mental health is kind of like not as visual. So I want to state this. This is something Holy Spirit told me, my higher power told me. This is something I want to state for folks so it can help. I don't want to say hit home more, but if that's what we need, a physical, harsh reality in order for us to get it, I would love to share that because this is such an important issue. I don't want folks listening to chance it and then 50 years from now it's too much for them. So imagine someone standing on the side of you pointing a gun straight in your face. And the gun is obviously there, but you're just gonna just keep looking forward and not acknowledge it. At the end of the day, that gun is still in your face, and this person could or could not pull that trigger. Do you want to find out? It's just like,
Right.
do you want to wait to find out, or do you want to maybe talk this gun down from this person? But it's just like, just because you're not acknowledging this gun in your face doesn't mean it's not going to shoot.
Right.
It's just like, it doesn't make it any less real because you
Right.
choose to not acknowledge it. It's still going to be there, and it could shoot you at any moment, and you think, oh, this gun hasn't shot me in years. It's not going to shoot me. Who's to say?
Right.
We see like,
Exactly.
right. So it's just like, is that a better physical representation? Who wants to sit there and find out if that gun's gonna fire? It's just like, no, folks. And the fact that like male suicide keeps growing. What the heck? Just a couple years ago, it was 72%. Now it's 72 to 78%, which is on average 75%. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
That's ridiculous.
Right, that's ridiculous. I was like, we ain't gonna have any more men left. Kids going this rate, It's just like,
Right.
They're saying within the next 5 to 10 years, we could see that percent. It's highly likely we'll see that percentage go up over 80%. And I'm like, it's already close. I mean, I'm just like, it's already close. It doesn't look like it's slowing down. So I'm just like, I don't want, and I know our society is conditioned to be more reactive instead of proactive with a lot of things.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because it's really hard to be proactive on a lot of things, and then some things it's just like, we could have been proactive on this, and then there's things where it's just like, yeah, it's understandable why we weren't proactive based off resources and things like that. But I feel like this issue is way too big for it to not be proactive, but at the same time, it's way too hidden for it to be proactive.
Right. Exactly.
So, we hate that.
Yep.
So, Queen, I know we're running out of time here. So, any last thoughts, last words that you wanted to say to people?
I would just, like I always say, I just want everyone to be, honest with themselves and kind to themselves, because you're not meant to have everything figured out. You're meant to learn. You're meant to have experiences. You're meant to learn from those experiences. You're meant to learn from other people's experiences and listening to podcasts like such. But like we're the more experiences you have, focus on taking whatever situation you're in, good, bad, whatever, and focus on putting it to your life and how to make you and your life better. You need to take care of yourself, not only your physical, but your mental, your emotional, and your spiritual self. You need to understand that you could be the right package, but at the wrong door. And in return, if you understand that, you're taking care of your mental and emotional self, and sometimes even physical for those that are in crazy domestic violence relationships, abusive relationships. So yeah, to close out the session, that's what I would say. I would say literally live and learn and be kind to yourself, take care of yourself, and make better decisions based off your experiences.
Yes, and yes, and folks, it's not gonna always be easy. It's just not. Have patience and grace on yourself. Progress over the perfect, honestly. So yeah, and the stuff that me and the Queen mentioned earlier, we're very aware that it's not always gonna be easy, folks. So I don't want folks thinking, well, I'm not going into this. I'm not gonna confront things just yet because it's not easy, or you're saying it like it's easy. I'm like, no, I promise I'm not. Forgive me, folks, for doing that. It's not easy all the time. Is it worth it? Yes, it's worth it. I'd rather it be hard now and then I get the help to heal, than it be super duper hard, 50 years from now, and I'm not conditioned, I'm not conditioned to go get therapy, or something like that. I'm just like, I don't want to get to a point where it's extremely hard, and on top of that, I've taught myself, as well as my environment and society, oh, don't go to therapy, because the problems do wait for us at the bottom of that alcohol glass. The problems, it waits, and I don't want. I just one day, 50 years from now, what if that alcohol is no longer serving you, or what if the alcohol got you in a worse position? Because this is not saying everybody, but it's saying we do see that trauma can manifest in the form of alcohol addiction, drug addiction. That's why I'm a fan of, if someone's gonna be arrested, and thrown behind bars, I'm like, oh no, we can't just lock up the individual without locking down on the problem. I'm just like, this is not an object to fix. This is a human to heal. I feel like the criminal justice system, and it's getting a lot better, but I feel like the criminal justice system is a very, very, it has so much potential for people. It can be such a saving grace for people, and it's getting better now, but it still has areas of work where it needs to work. I'm just like, if we're gonna punish someone, let's be progressive with that punishment.
Right.
I was just like, we're not gonna I'm not gonna get into it anymore because I know we're limited on time. But I could talk about this for another 10 minutes. But okay. Well, Queen, we love that you're back. Welcome to episode 3, folks. Woo! If you think of another title that you want to put for this, Sneha, just let me know because it's not. This
Okay.
isn't gonna air until like I don't know, like end of September.
Okay.
So or maybe mid September. I don't know. I'll keep you updated.
Okay,
Yeah.
sounds good. Thanks for having me.
Yes. Okay. Let me hang up this. Bye, folks. I will see y'all next episode for whatever that will be. I don't know.